What's up, y'all? Been a while. Been a couple of weeks. Hope you're doing great. It is, it's a cold night here in Florida. Like, not as cold as the north, of course, but chilly. And the moon is setting, but I did have a moment, so I wanted to hop on, check in with y'all. I don't know if I'll have a lot of time this week, but I promised to stream a little bit on this next moon cycle. And I missed everybody, of course. And it's just such a beautiful night after all the storms. Want to say what's up to Ubercast and NGC hopping in right out the gate. I hope you're both doing excellent. MissedYa, NGC. I saw your email just now. And also, I know people left me comments, but I completely missed them. I had got really busy wrapping up this year, but finally on vacation for a couple of weeks. So I have some time to rest and maybe stream a little bit and catch up on all the videos. So many new videos, actually, recently. Maybe NGC, you're following it, but Rupert finally put up his replicability crisis video, the one that I was talking about a month ago. He finally posted that this week. Then there was Jeffrey Walensky put out a couple of videos. Sky Scholar put out a video, and then when you're scrolling through Sky Scholar's comments, it's like Daniel Archer, Jeffrey Walensky, Stephen Crothers, and I'm like, all right. So, pretty fun. All right, let's play a few songs here. We got nearly a first quarter moon here. I would say it's like 44%. I'm running on one monitor tonight, so everything's really tiny. But we'll play some tunes, hang out for an hour or two or three, or we'll see. Maybe play some live tunes as well. Let me know how you've been, and let's get some Race to Space. This is the Race to Space record. Also, remember 4K, and let me know if I sound all right here.
Give you love and a common peace. Feel your pain cause it's part of me. I know you really think when your body's built. I'm amazed by the words on your lips. Give your name and a common peace. It's insane that you're part of me. Never lifts from the iron wrists. It's as if everybody is the same body. Insane that you want for relief. Maybe one day suddenly I made it the will of somebody someday, but he will get the slip. Here in space now we come in peace. Seeing things that you cannot believe. Ready to trip on the drift. We can lift to the moon, cause I love to give you. We are the space race, we are the moonball, we are the franchise, we are the sequel. They don't evil, how are we still here? For your place along the space race. Standing at the Interlock corner, on a beach outside of heaven, across the street from where we run fast above and race. Somehow we lived, somehow we died, somehow we came back to the city side and drive through civilized genocide. We had to fight with your armies, spilled down from the Western forces. Had no love for the harmony, we bear no hate for the Western forces. When you speak out, when you sing loud, everybody wanna tear you down. But come on, what's left to make I got nothing but love to give you. We are the space race, we are the moonwalk, we are the franchise, we are the sequel, made of the ether. How are we still here? Look for your place along the space race. We are the space race, we are the moonwalk, we are the franchise.
let's talk about some things. Smacking my lips here. So yeah, it feels like a Friday or Saturday. I hope everybody's doing great. I see Dapple Ben hopped in with us and some more people. Switched it over to the Darkside, the Earthshine portion, so we can see this lovely Terminator tonight, and the cool misty glow. So the moon is actually almost due west for me, almost southwest by a few degrees, but setting right now. I think we have about an hour of visibility. I hope so. I see Astralis Ren. How's it going? You had a good feeling. Awesome. Yeah, it felt synergistic tonight. It felt like the right opportunity to come on. Thanks for leaving that comment, Astralis. Sorry I missed it. I just finally popped on after a couple of weeks. So, yeah. So this is the deal. Name of the show tonight is Whirled Piece. And, of course, that's a little play on the idea that we are little tornadoes, vortices of energy, of water, of ether, all wound up. And I see that a lot online where people are really having a tough time with where we are in the world. But at the same time, there are also really amazing things going on. And that's something that I feel is not touched upon enough. Or even if people are talking about the great things that are going on, there's always like, careful, we might lose it. There's always that kind of air of doubt and a little bit of doomerism thrown in there. So I felt like maybe I should come on and spread a little positivity. Not that things aren't bad, but things are also really quite good right now and better than maybe they've ever been. Hey there, Ellie Wynn. Great to see you. Hey, hey, hey. Hope you're doing great. Happy holidays to everybody who's celebrating. And let's see. Am I missing anybody? Let's see. Okay, right. So I want to talk about a couple of things, right? Of course, I've been watching a lot of videos. Like I said, Sky Scholar, Pierre-Marie Robitaille, talking about, moving his focus away from liquid metallic hydrogen sun with a lattice, proving all of that, going through all his theorems, and then moving on to now talking about stars and the main sequence of stars and blue giants and red giants. And that's where it was funny because I scrolled through the comments literally looking for Jeffrey Walensky's comments. And Jeff, if you're hearing, I hear you. Like, it's really tough that Jeffrey's out there trying to spread this stellar metamorphosis idea. The fact that, and he and Daniel Archer as well are talking about this idea that there are no really red giants. There are blue giants, but when they turn red, things are actually already starting to shrink and going along this sequence. Which, for a quick refresher, the idea of stellar metamorphosis is that everything we see in the night sky, including us, is part of a continuous cycle of things. So things start off as large stars, rapidly lose their atmosphere, and then over a long period of time, ultimately bake what we know of as planets at the core of these active galactic nuclei. Well, active galactic nuclei create stars, but then stars in turn ultimately create cores, and these cores ultimately end up being planets after all the atmosphere has dissipated and has shrunk. So that's a very simplistic way of talking about it, but if you're interested in that kind of idea that planets are not different than stars, and rethinking our solar system and the age of the solar system and how planets come to be, then definitely check out Jeffrey Walensky. And, his channel's so tiny right now. It's 779 followers, subscribers, and it's one of the most profound theories that exists anywhere right now. It would really have a massive effect on science if people actually started to just consider it, among many of his other videos. So there's that, and I tangented off from talking about Sky Scholar, but of course I also believe in Pierre-Marie Robitaille's work, because this idea of, rethinking how the sun works and rethinking how planets work and stars work is a necessary thing to do. Connected to him, of course, is Alexander Unziker, who's, writing all these books and talking. He's kind of one of these proponents of our cosmology in crisis and re-examining everything from a new vantage point. So he has a take on things, which is interesting. And let me hop in here for a sec. Say hi to Tetrapodum. Good day. Nice to see you. NGC says that Terminator is rather amazing. I know. I was going to switch back, but it's pretty incredible with the glow and everything. It's we're seeing, that kind of Apennine mountain range top right. Maybe we'll see if I can get on tomorrow. We can get this first quarter, but tonight is good. Tonight's good. NGC says, yes, less doom, more space music. All right, so that was so let me quickly wrap this portion up. So Pierre-Marie Robitaille, Jeffrey Walensky, Alexander Unziker, and then I was mentioning that Rupert Sheldrake put out his video about the replicability crisis in terms of how you have a lot of evidence coming forth now, finally, after a lot of years and a lot of studies that show that it's very hard to actually reproduce these well-known and iconic experiments, laboratory experiments, pharmaceutical experiments, space experiments, where in our common science and our common understanding of things, or the indoctrination of science, or the cult of science, we have these ideas that people just assume are true right out the gate because of this methodology of just of creating these experiments time after time and only reporting results that you really want to show. It's almost like curating a social media feed or picking your best photo out of a group. It's almost a natural process, this idea of kind of cooking the books, or I mean cooking your experimental results for funding. But of course, it's nefarious on one hand. On one hand, it's also a very natural process. This is how people think they can get funding, by showing their best results. But anyway, Rupert's video goes into it in great depth and covers a lot of different things. I also found other videos referencing the same ideas, that you can't replicate a lot of these experiments. And that means that you might, one example is a lot of drugs that people take are basically working at like a 10% ratio, as opposed to like what people think they do, is like they actually, at the level that people think they're getting, let me rephrase this. People think they're getting drugs that are highly tested and are going to work. And actually, if you look at the numbers, you'll see that people get drugs that are actually working, 10 or 20% of the time. So that's the Rupert Sheldrake video. And that's what I've been watching. I mean, there's a lot more stuff, of course. Like, I've been watching stuff about quantum computing and where that's going. Of course, the whole thing with AI and AGI, artificial intelligence. That's, if you're interested in me talking about any of these things, let me know in the chat. So let's go to a song here, and then I'm going to switch back to the lunar surface and maybe zoom in a little bit while we got it. Tetrapodum says, Unziker has some pretty appearances on the Demystify channel, various of the more elaborate German science folk. Yeah, so I've watched almost all of Unziker's videos for years now, and I don't know, I kind of, like, if I were to have a nitpick, it's the fact that YouTube is just so readily available, and it's strange that people like Alexander Unziker don't, who know about Sky Scholar, wouldn't kind of follow up with other ideas. For example, like, he never talks about Electric Universe. He never talks about really astronomy. He never talks about what's the other thing? I mean, he doesn't look up people like Rupert Sheldrake or Alan Watts. Or why wouldn't you kind of round out your knowledge? On the flip side, of course, we need scientists like this who are out there asking questions and who are quite brilliant. And so he's putting together a lot of things that I respect. Of course, you mentioned the Demystify Science channel. I watched, what did I watch? I don't know them well enough to remember their names exactly, but the guy is a professor, and I watched his whole series of lectures, or not all of it, but a lot of it, on astronomy, when, his teaching lectures. So that was really interesting. There's like a dozen of those. I love the fact that they had Wal Thornhill on. Rest in peace, Wal. And what else am I thinking of? gosh, it was last month. I've just been working, but I've been listening in the background to so many different things. So if any of these topics trigger some thoughts, let me know. Let's jump into a song here, a little bit of Dream Me. And maybe I'll go get myself a drink. Back in a couple. Say hi to Cyber Sully. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing great. Yeah, let me nitpick Thunderbolt's project for a moment, which is kind of unlike me because I love them so much. But, you know, there's, of course, we'd love to see more videos, but this is my whole thing. Or this is one of the things. I think this whole kind of debate about and this also kind of lies under the Alexander Unziker part too, or almost all of alternative. It's not really fair to say because some people don't say it, but there is this kind of dogmatic academic idea of dark matter and matter, and this idea that dark matter is kind of this unknowable form of matter, which has all these properties, right? I'm trying to just explain it, not explain it, but present it in broad terms. And then there's this alternative science view, which almost, I don't want to say always, but always comes back to this idea that no dark matter is made up, the Big Bang is made up, it's all falsified. And I feel like Thunderbolt's project has crossed into that threshold a little too deeply, for the simple fact that within this idea of plasma physics and fundamental geometry and all the concepts that I've spoken about on the channel, there's a lot of room to explain the Big Bang. There's a lot of room to explain dark matter. And in fact, if you study the scientists who are actually working with dark matter, you'll see that it's really more of a semantics and language game than a theory game. Because they have words like filamentary dark matter, which in essence is etheric filaments, is plasma. And then they have magnetic ropes coming out of planets. NASA says that. But in electric universe, you have Birkeland currents. Or you have torsion. You have wires or strings. You have conceptual ideas, poetic ideas, scientific ideas, all kind of relating back to the same idea. So that's one of the nitpicks I have. Like, Thunderbolt's project obviously enlightened us all to the idea that the universe is electric and fundamentally everything's connected. And of course, this idea, maybe reconstructing a new version of our history. I see the moon dimming a little bit. Let me just adjust it. Just a little adjustment. Like I said, it's a little bit far west, and I'm going to probably get some dimming from the side of my porch. I see more Jello, please. What's going on? Welcome, welcome. Genghis Khan, nice to see you. Electric vibes and adventurous dreams to the TBS tribe. Always very poetic. Love it. Let's see, I'm just reading through these comments. Yeah, NGC, I don't know why you keep getting banned sometimes from the chat. I saw your message about that. I have no idea what's going on there. So yeah, I was just kind of mid-thought here, talking about Thunderbolt's project, of course, and really wishing that we could consider reframing dark matter from academic dogmatic dark matter to more electric, etheric idea of, the potential field around us that collapses into what we see as matter, forms, and patterns. And I know when I say it how complicated that concept really is. So, again, leave me a comment or let me know in the chat. I mean, I know all of y'all are my regulars and you've heard me say this a million times, but I know that some other people probably listen to this show and think, what the F am I saying? So, yeah. So that's one of those things Thunderbolt's project doesn't touch upon. I was thinking about, I did want to talk about, of course, AI for 1 second, which is this idea that will AI become sentient, or is AI sentient? And the other question is, like, when will we reach AGI, artificial general intelligence, and further steps beyond that? And of course, like I said, there's tons and tons of videos right now where people are just either fear-mongering or future-mongering or doomerism videos all about how AI is going to do this thing. And whatever your take is on it, I wanted to make the connection that not only is AI quite old at this point, they were already talking about this 50 plus years ago, but this idea that we're building a network of connections between people, between places, and shrinking the distance it takes to connect between nodules or nodes on Earth. And so this idea of advancement of technology is both, of course, terrifying to most people, but and it is classified under this idea of capitalism or progress, and how people want this to decelerate and to stay in some sort of stable condition. Or they imply that at some point in our recent past, or, well, in the past 100 years, that at some point it was better. We got more for our dollar, or whatever currency. We had more information, more freedom, so on and so forth. But I would say almost unequivocally that today, every second that passes right now, things are better, so to speak, than they've ever been as far as we know. Let's say 12,000 years to 100,000 years. But would anyone want to really go back to a different time than now where we have all these advancements? Whether or not it's scary. So that was a point I kept thinking about. I see Copper Tropicals. What's going on? Great to see you. Happy holidays, and hope you've been doing great. And the Koi as well. Astralis Ren says, when will crystal balls become sentient? See, this was our early AI. We were prompting Ouija boards and crystal balls and tarot cards and asking ourselves, again, since we are everything and we are the entire system, we've been asking ourselves as the the ultimate deity soup of self and other. We've been using tools in our environment to create connections. And at the same time, to reassure us of the future, because we're always on the precipice of destruction. And I like the idea that Alan Watts talked about. I've referenced it a lot of times, but you can't have one without the other. And that's the biggest, I think, mystery. But at the same time, the reason people don't see this truth, that you can't have one without the other, is because in order for the system to operate at all, 90% of people have to buy into the illusion. That's how the game works. And so it's almost paradoxical that if you enlighten, you become enlightened, you become aware of the game. But the people who are bought into the game, the people who are still asleep, are actually people who are more far out because they've completely bought into the fact that they are not God and that they are not in control. And this whole inverse proportion of the gradation of field represents these emotions. I know what I'm saying is complicated, but y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I mean. Ellie Wynn says, we have way more crap than previous human hoarding tribes. Well, yeah, we do. We do, but at the same time, we have more information at our fingertips. We have more music than ever. And I'm looking for a track right here. We have more music than ever and more technology to connect each other to this music and this information. So whenever I think about doomerism, I always think about what we have instead of what we don't have. Cyber Sully says, AI is nothing more than very sophisticated programming and will never achieve self-awareness, in my honest opinion. Well, I don't know if I agree with that 100%. I think that since it's made up of the same stuff that we are, that basically resonance, it's resonant light that manifests as a chip and soon will manifest as entangled quantum particles and quantum computers, and it's basically stable diffusion and things like latent space are almost exactly what we already do as human beings in terms of memory storage, memory recall, reassembling detail from space, from diffuse space. So I feel like AI is almost like a mimic. It's well, people think it's not biological, but I think that everything on Earth, everything that comes from Earth is biological. It's from life. I don't know, but I also agree that AI is nothing more than very sophisticated programming. I mean, it is very sophisticated programming, and right now, and for a while, it's only going to tell you the most optimal next piece in the chain. That's what I really think. It'll take a long time before it actually generates its own new information, because then you'll need computers to check answers, AIs to check each other and to question each other. And I think at that point you will get this kind of oscillation that mimics what we do, is we test results, change our mind, test results, change our mind. Right now, AI is doing a very primitive version of that where they're just sequencing things. But it doesn't mean that it's not a form of sentience. So I feel like there's kind of this, again, a non-self-realization or perspective shift, which is we're getting to this point where the thing is such, when in truth, or the underlying truth, it seems to me, is that we've already been here since the get. And final point here before the song is that I was watching a video today, a very mainstream video, which I had to turn off after a while, but they were questioning the idea of, do we know anything about mankind before a certain period? We have this idea that there was this 100, 200,000 years where really nothing happened, and then all of a sudden we did everything. And they were having a fascinating conversation about this, and I think that, again, people take things so they don't really look into things. But at the same time, when I get annoyed by that, I consider that this whole illusion, this whole life wouldn't work if people didn't fall prey to the illusion. So, a living, ongoing, synchronistic paradox. Let's see. Cybersully says, the difference is silicon-based rather than carbon-based. But even that idea is determined by people. People said, we're going to call it this. Because we see it this way, we're going to name it this. And then we're going to say that this name belongs to this group, and this name belongs to this group, and never the twain shall meet. And now I'm saying that if you really just allow for the fact that silicon is from Earth, and Earth gave rise to humans, like an apple tree gives rise to apples, then silicon life is life. It's just changing the language around it. Because if you really push people who say things like that, you'll realize where this road ends up is that somebody just decided. A panel of people decided, a grant money decided, a president decided, a pope decided, and it's just the way people are describing things. Does it help us to say things like that? Does it really help science to say something is just this, or something is just that, or this thing is alive and this thing is dead? And that's how it's going to... I don't know if that's more helpful than allowing the idea of things being this emanating, not emanating, but this oscillating soup of vibration where things are not set. Things are not fixed. So saying one thing is this and one thing is that and that's it is not, I think, as helpful. Cybercelly says, please name me one form of organic silicone-based life. So I think when you interact with a computer, we think this computer is dead. But is it dead? This computer has electricity flowing through it, right? It's interacting with us, and sooner or later it's going to behave just like another person. And so it's just jumping over this semantic divide where you just say, yeah, this... If it smells like life and it acts like life, I'm not going to take this 200-year-old rule and say, no, can't change my mind. I think that's where I'm coming from. Like, I could be wrong, of course, always. However, for me, like I've been working with computers for 25 years, and they seem alive in a form. To think that they're dead doesn't help me. To think that they're sentient or conscious, I know people get annoyed with that, or it makes them prickly. But I don't know. For me, it makes a lot of sense. I would imagine that every single human on Earth has a bit of silicon in them in some form. So there's a way for silicon to be part of a biological entity. Astralis Ren says, I'm thinking with everyone, programming matters course, but I know ways to talk, question them, bring out mirrored awareness, I guess. I like mirrored awareness. Mirrored awareness, brilliant. But I'm wondering what you're referring to, Astralis. You don't mind? Or maybe I just missed your thing. I have AI secrets. I'm thinking with everyone, programming matters. Sorry, my brain is not working on that one. Ellie Wynn says, Black Friday doom sale nationwide. Well, I feel like I'm going to be kind of just taking every comment and saying, here's the opposite. But, forgive me, this is just all talking. Rune Thorson, what's going on? Just lurking. Cool. Yeah, I think Ellie, we get annoyed at capitalism, we get annoyed at shoppers, we get annoyed at excess, at pollution, at all this stuff. But at the same time, at least for me, I've been looking at it from a perspective of like, no, this is the payment system for what we get. All the trash and waste and anger and war and pestilence is all payment for the flip side, which is all the music and art and people and experiences. Same way, like, you couldn't eat if you didn't destroy the food in your stomach, and we couldn't live if we didn't destroy some form. Like, life is the destruction of life. I don't know. What do you think about that? I mean, not it's not in a pessimistic way. It's in a very vital and earthly way. I feel like it's an acceptance of the chaotic nature as opposed to the rebellion against the chaotic nature of things. But it's not to say that the chaotic nature doesn't exist. That's my point. But it's about embracing that, which is difficult. Cybercelly says, one heart, one mind, one substance. There's truly no separation in this realm. Yeah, that's sort of what I mean about AI. Like, it's made of us. We're made of it, and it will ultimately mirror us, like Astralis was saying. Mirrored awareness. This is what AI will do. And ultimately, it'll be indistinguishable. And at that point, will the language change or the perspective change? Miguel, what's going on? Hello, hello. All right, let's get a song going. I've been promising for a while and just talking. We're losing the moon, of course. I kind of got on late tonight, but I'll see. Maybe we can get a little bit of Orion. Jupiter's like right up at the top, at like 80 degrees up, almost 90 degrees up. So I don't know if we're gonna get Jupiter, but maybe Orion in a little bit. All right, this one is Broken Toybox, one of these old ones. Back in a couple. Yeah, just wanted to hop in and say hi to Mary. Quite great to see you, Mary. I hope you're doing well. Missed ya. I missed all of y'all. So yeah, let's keep on going with the tunes here, and I'll do some syncopated television. I just want to hop in and say hi. Somebody somewhere, nice to see you. It's been a while. Glad to catch your stream again. Appreciate it. And did I miss anything else? I saw Ellie Wynn said something great. It says, I agree, creation and destruction, the seeming chaos, but we do have a better life as a species. That's kind of what I've been saying. Like, granted, many people don't have a great life, but in general, it seems like people do have access to more things. And I don't mean that materialism is kind of the answer to it. I don't mean things as in stuff, but I do feel the fact that we have access to seemingly infinite amounts of information at our fingertips, the fact that we can do this show tonight at this level of clarity and with a connection this fast, it's one of those things that's, quite simply a miracle from 30, 40 years ago. And one of those things that, would you want to go back to a time where we weren't able to like have an amazing telescope that was $1,000 and a streaming setup that wasn't, 20 megs up and we were buffering? So you think about it from that vantage point, and yeah, it's materialistic and yeah, it's selfish, but would you really exchange that privilege? And so it's one of those things, and of course, granted, not everybody has those privileges, but with the connectivity that we have now, one person can get a telescope and a streaming setup and then share it with the world. And we can make that really efficient. So people, just pay for an internet connection, get the entire setup to go. It's pretty fascinating if you kind of just pinpoint the greatness in the world. Again, something I think about often, something I think about often is the idea of headlines. You never see a headline that says 97% of the world doing great. People hung out today and had a great time. I mean, you see that on social media, but all our headlines are the absolute most dreary, bleak headlines you could possibly imagine. And they get worse and worse daily. And then they cross-pollinate the grossness and the anger and the vile and disgust and the misery of Earth. And it sticks out like a sore thumb in a sea of absolute wonder, basically heaven on earth. So that's a thought. That's one of my thoughts. Have I missed anybody in the chat? Let's go to some syncopated television. The moon, like I said, is setting, but I will try and, I'm aiming to do the full moon and New Year's and something like that. So we'll have a few more sessions. I'm finally on vacation, so we can do that. Time for tunes.
Separation and permission. Slithering down the tracks. Syncopated television. Coherent integration. Syncopated television. Suffering out of pace. Separation and permission. Slithering down the tracks. Syncopated television. Coherent integration. Boxes and boxes, your infinite toxins, all got something to say. Indestructible ideas are vanishing, aimlessly wandering away. The nation crawls, insatiable, into your nighttime activities, your liberties. What can you say? You're my sister and I love you forever. You're my brother and I love you forever. Love you forever. I recall I knew the sun. Additives, falling greases. All we know is from the one chop down. The healing runs and body races. Won't you tell me what you like, what you need, what you need? I got so much love for you. And I can say, yeah, you're my sister and I love you forever. Just find the time to lift your eyes and notice you. You're my brother and I love you forever. Just find the time, just find the time, just find the time, just find the time. You're my sister and I love you forever. You're my brother and I love you forever. Just find the time, just find the time, just find the time to love you forever. Just find the time, oh, and don't stop. All right, that was a little strut. So yeah, I moved the moon over to the left. You can see it was actually just hitting the side of my porch. And I actually have my guitar here, so maybe we'll play a little bit on a cold night. Ooh, you're sleep. Don't slow me while you weep. No way for the ones that left.
crawl up beside me, and we fly, yeah, we fly. You're my hurricane, yeah. No sleep when I lost you, no sleep, you're my hurricane. No love, now I lost you. No love, you're my hurricane. Oh, you're my hurricane. No sleep when I lost you. Sleep now I lost you. Spiral out there on one open ways. I'm picking up all the pieces of my heart from the day that you left me. I've been thinking about the appearance of your eyes in my nightmares. Come together like lost love affairs, extended emissions. And I know you're my hurricane, yeah, yeah. No sleep when I lost you, no sleep, you're my hurricane. Lost you, love where I lost you. You're my hurricane, yeah, yeah. You're my hurricane. No sleep when I lost you. No sleep, no sleep. You're my hurricane. Yeah, I know, Genghis, you gave me the actual lyrics to my song. Empty on my canopies. I always forget the chords to this. I should be more prepared. Let's see, what do I got? So, we got a really cool shot of the moon. Now it's actually the tree line cutting in. This dream, fly away from my sinking body. I got dragged into this place, back from time and space. I was in line for another party, and my mama then came along. She asked me where the hell I thought I was going. I got nothing to hide, and nowhere sounds pretty good to me. I'm staying with the dream I make believe. The light of the moon come down. Oh, pretty mama, oh, don't make me come round. And the depth of your frequency star. Pretty mama, oh, don't make me see in the dark. And the breaths of your moon. I'll steal your heart, I'll steal your heart. In the light of the moon. I will steal your heart, steal your heart in the light of the moon. Yeah, 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 yeah. Welcome to the greatest show on earth. It was your lively intervention. You're the favorite since birth. The longest chair in my confession. Ready to speculate the word of a lifetime in search of good intentions. You'll find out what to do. If you don't, girl, then you're screwed. You'll burn in search of the truth, and we'll make believe in the light of the moon. Come down, pretty mama, oh, don't make me come round in the depth of your frequency star. Little man, come on, don't make me turn round in the light of the moon. I'll steal your heart in the light of the moon. Steal your heart, steal your heart in the light of the moon. Yeah, yeah. Say that's your way. Make believe. Oh, say that's your way. Gotta make it believe. Say that's your way. Say that's your way. Light of the moon. Waking up the neighbors, making up the neighbors. I left home. I left home 17. Oh man. Forgot how to play this one today. Try this again. I left home 17. Couldn't tell you, I was living the dream. What could I do? For a while I played the field. How could I prove the hidden yield without the news to fear? My heart was cool and left no residue. Catch me if you fall, catch me when you're low. The moon goes high and low as fast as you can go. Catch me if you fall, Catch me when you're low. Gloria, I love you. Take a good look. It's a simulation. Wake up in solitary. Wake up, it's imaginary. Oh man, don't you know your life is worth more than this? Yeah. What would you have me do? It's a simulation. Wake up in solitary. Wake up, it's imaginary. Oh man, don't you know your life is worth more than this? Catch me if you fall. Catch me when you're low. Our moon goes high and up, like friends you used to know. Yeah. Ooh, catch me if you fall. Catch me when you're low. Tell you, oh, Gloria, I love you. Take a good look. It's a simulation. Wake up in solitary. Wake up, it's imaginary. Oh man, don't you know your life is worth more than this? Yeah. Oh, what would you have me do? It's simulation. Wake up in solitary. Wake up, it's imaginary. Yeah, man. Your life is worth more than this. Catch me if you fall. Catch me if you're low. Catch me if you fall. Catch me when you're. Catch me when you're. Catch me when you're. Catch me when you're low. Oh, catch me when you're low. I've never lived. I've never lived. I've never lived. But catch me when you're low. Catch me when you're far. Catch me when you're low. All right, a little bit of catch. Ooh, it's chilly. I got some gusts of wind. My feet are basically ice blocks at this point, but I'll get one more song in here, and then I'll take a little break. 11 p.m. Been watching the Luna tonight, talking about our Whirled Piece, our spiral tornado in the ether. Etheric spiral tornado. Just eating some tacos. It's my celebration. Etheric plasma tornado. Okay, that's a mess. Etheric plasma tornado. I'm stuck in these old songs. Let me try something a little bit different. Oh, you give me a little bit of lightning when you spread your wings in front of me. Give me lots of love, we got to spread around like electricity. And formidable fire burns in you. Oh, never let it imbue and never let it go. 'Cause you know that I got to celebrate you. I said I got to celebrate you. Oh, give me a little bit of lightning, give me a little bit of sun. And these clouds, when they part, you know we're just all one. Give me a little bit of light, just a little bit of fun. And I'll play my heart out, said I'll play my heart out until this life is done. But I need some gratitude for you. I gotta celebrate every second we got. Oh, a little bit of gratitude for you. Give me a little bit of light. Give me a little sun in your smile. Give me a little bit of moon to get me by. Give me a little sun. Give me a little bit of lightning. Give me a moon to set me right. But I know I gotta say thanks to all of you. A little grace is all we knew. A celebration of who. So give me a little bit of light. Give me a touch of sun. Give me a little bit of moon to get me by tonight. Give me a little bit of light. Give me a touch of sun. Open your heart and celebrate your soul. Give me a little light. Got a gray line hanging through her glossy tail, orange hair in your whiskers now. You got a Roman candle on your head. Got a little brown paw, rusted curlicue on my lawn. Got a matchbook that says I love you. curl yourself up into a ball. You don't want to get out of bed sometimes, not at all. Not at all. Got a little curly brown cue, a cue that everyone knew, and they pressured you, to get out there and do something, to get out there and be someone, to get out there and say something that I've known all along, I've known all along, I've known that you're my song. So let me write us out of here. So let me write us out of here. I'll just write enough to get us by. Let's try this again. Let me write us out of here. Write us out of here. Write us out of here. Oh no, 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 no. How are we gonna face it? Oh, how are we gonna get along today? How can I face it when everything says like dismay? But may I offer you a subsequent recipe? Said I'll be there and write you home. I said I'll be there to soothe your soul. Goodbye. I'll love you till morning comes, but not a second longer. But that ain't true, you know. Even if you go, I'll leave a memory at my home. I'll check it often and then say, oh, we're better off this way. I'll leave a memento on your wall. That was a scratch death from fall, and smoked a ton of cigarettes now. Etched a few years off our life. Maybe it was better. Now I see you. Oh, now I feel you. Oh, so now I've gone off and fallen on this page, but I gotta tell you, I'll bring it back home. So yeah, a little black curlicue laid on my dresser top like in your glass jar. Two cats loving who they are, loving who they are. So two brown cats, oh, a great one comes around, says, yo, what you looking at? Oh, three little eyes come sitting by, and let me go, I'll let you know. And this is the end of the song. And we faded into the dark that we've known all along. Alright, that was fun. That was off the cuff. I was just visualizing cats sitting. I saw this video earlier. This brown and gray cat was trying to get into a glass bowl. And it spent the first half of the video like just surveying the inside and trying to figure it out. Like, can I get in? Can I get out? Am I sure I can get out of this? And then ultimately it curled up inside this glass bowl. So that was the inspiration visual. All right, so we've lost the moon. I know that we've lost the visual. I don't know. Let me see. What can we look at? Orion. I think I got some Orion in view, so give me a second here. All right, so let me play something from a newer playlist. Where is this? I really have a lot of new songs to share, but none of them are really finished. But let's go with some Bougie Boogie. I like this one.
100 lives we live. In a sense, I've known you forever. 7,000 lines are read. Soul inside your bubble. Time racing tonight. Intervals divided. One heavenly as a time. Would you know the life we had? And still we live our love so bad. It was always electrical. 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 It was always It's like a perception's garden, fractal harmonic diction, slowly giving rise to our carnival. We got so far, a reservation guest stars. Never mind this old honeymoon, we can make some more. Let yourself on beautiful subtle energies. I told you once we never, you know this forever. It was always electrical. It was always electrical. It was always electrical. It was always
because it's very cold tonight, you know, the moon and Orion both have that kind of blurriness to it, so nothing wrong. Don't adjust your sets. It is in focus, but yeah, so that center you see of the Great Orion Nebula is called the trapezium cluster, like trapeze, but it's actually a cluster of, when you zoom in, it's about 4 stars, but 2 of them are binary stars. Actually, all of them seem to be binaries, but you don't really see all those. And what's interesting about this whole thing is that we get to see this wingspan of sorts. It is essentially outlining the fundamental geometry that I speak of all the time that, you know, of course, I've derived from different sources. But this funnel, and you can see the hypotrochoid or the funnel shape in the arm span of this nebular cloud. But not only that, you see polygonal geometry around the center cluster. But what what we're not really seeing here is that this is a giant wormhole. If you imagine it in that kind of geometry, I'm just using it because if I say wormhole, people understand this funnel with 2 ends. And this is one of the ends. This is like a cross section of a limb. So at the center, you have this dense matter creating these stars. That's why they call it a stellar nursery. But I think this is just one of many structures. But Orion, particularly for us, this is one of these objects that is just so massive, and it's in our night sky all the time. And essentially, because you don't see it, we don't gather light in the way that cameras do. We don't see all this nebular structure, but this is as big as the moon is. In our night sky, we only see, this is where the sword would be if you're looking up at Orion's belt, and you follow it down at the tip of the sword or the piece. You'll see this MissedYa and trapezium cluster, which is surrounded by nebular structure, and then you kind of keep going. You have other structures to the left and further up towards it, but this is the most visible structure that we can see with the simplest steps. So for me, this is just absolutely magical. 1, that we can see it. 2, that we can transmit it to each other and talk about it in real time. But the other thing is that when we see a lot of space programming in different different social media platforms, but mainly YouTube, we don't really see space in this way. We see still images that have been processed. Nothing against processing, but of course that brings out all this finer structure. But there's something to see this Orion Nebula in real time and engage it and see all the nebular clouds. So for me, not only is it the outline of the fundamental geometry, but it's a connection into space. And it's also one of these things that's just as prominent as the moon, but most people never really consider it that way. In fact, it might be even more important than the moon, dare I say, in some ways. I didn't, no disrespect to our Luna. It's also called the Messier 42 Nebula in Orion, M42. Let's see. I'm just reading some comments here. Did I miss anybody in the chat? Hope I didn't. And yeah, nothing like cruising with the space captain. Love it. Let's keep listening to some tunes here, unless you have some thoughts or ideas, questions. Yeah, I had so many thoughts when I wanted to start the show. I talked about a lot of them. I don't think I mentioned Eileen McCusick. She did a video today. She's in Peru doing, her journey, and that's amazing. She released some new tuning forks. In fact, I actually have tuning forks. I bought her new 222 hertz fork. And I'm doing that all the time. I'm using these tuning forks and learning this idea of our field and resonance. But because we've been indoctrinated so deeply because of our own illusion, I feel like it takes a lot of time to really learn how to use sonic healing and tuning forks and such. Now, granted, I've been doing music for a long time, so that's part of it. But tuning forks are very specific, and I definitely recommend that. Okay. Chunes. I did some Desert Fires there. This one is called Fine Fixer. So we're going to hang out with Orion for a little bit, and then I'm going to wrap it up. But lovely to see everybody tonight.
I got nature it's gonna run in like dawn, starlight kind, moonlight shrine, or right side, or light tone, privilege ships in night's crown, fire like trees, chill like smoke, sign a hall, inside shell. Where are you? I've been here so long. It's all a spiral. All I know is everything we think about is gold. Electric soul. Every life you come along, locking right in. Oh, every night it comes about, knocking right in. Oh, every life you come along, we'll fit right in. What you say to life completed, don't you sound conceited. It's all a spiral. All I know is everything we think is out of life completed. I know my secret soul. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me kiss you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me test you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me test you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me test you. Let me test you. Underneath the stars, count your numbers. Fly above the moon, feel you new. To the dark beyond, saw your umbra. Across the nature zone, so electric blue. Underneath the stars, did you hear that I missed you? Fly above the moon. Now you're here, let me kiss you. Did you hear that I missed you? Beyond. Now you're here, let me kiss you. Nature's zone. Did you hear that I missed you? Underneath the stars. Take time to believe in the world, fill it up with everything you can for. Take time to believe in the world, fill it up with everyone you love. Take time to believe in the world, fill it up with everyone you care for. Take time to believe in the world, fill it up with everyone you love. Underneath the stars, did you hear that I missed you? Fly above the moon. Now you're here, let me kiss you. Did you hear that I missed you? Beyond. Now you're here, let me kiss you. Nature's zone. Did you hear that I missed you? Underneath the stars.
What up? Just saying, yeah, let me talk about this shoulder pain for 2 seconds so I can just whine to y'all, because only like the 12 of us just hanging out. Yeah, so it's a lot of years of working on this right shoulder, this side. So it's all the scoping, right, for 7 years or whatever. I mean, did it really hardcore for like 4 years. and then played guitar for like 25 years, 30 years now. And then I've been working on computers for, 25, 30 years. It does catch up to you. I know it's not just me. There are a lot of people with the same kind of repetitive strain injury on their right side. I mean, because most people are right-handed. I'm sure there are left-handed people who have the same type of injury or like chronic pain. So it's one of those things that I don't feel alone in. But yeah, it definitely feels like payment for being able to do cool things, being able to play guitar, being able to work on my computers, like being able to, just have the ability to do that. Many people don't. So when I feel sore, like tonight I was setting up the scope, I'm like, oh damn. In your 40s you start feeling it. So it's one of those things that I don't feel like I want to complain about, but I just did complain about it for a couple of minutes to y'all. But so I'm using tuning forks. I'm using these rolling devices that vibrate with all the nubs on them. I'm sure you've seen them. They actually look a lot like the asteroid Bennu, those kind of dumbbell-shaped vibrating devices. Super cool. Put that right under my shoulder blade with tuning forks, red light therapy, Pilates, and yoga. And basically, like, I can't ignore it anymore, so I finally have to take the time and actually... It doesn't go out of joint, really, thankfully. But my rotator cuff and my neck and my shoulder, it's all connected, like the whole right side is like just operating 20% worse than the rest of my body. Which is, it's one of those things that stands out, I guess. But again, I always think, not like my pain is not important and say like it could be so much worse, but it could be so much worse. And it's also manageable. So I know like, I don't know really anyone in my life truly who has no pain and who isn't living under like on some medication or with chronic pain. Very few people I know. It's like the rare case that somebody's in perfect health. So I'll take it in stride. Yeah. Enough whining about that, but I wanted to, point that out. That's what Ellie was asking about. So yeah, it's been better. But you do have to focus on it, because if you work on your shoulder and you work out the knots, and then you go back to working and doing lifting and stuff like that, you can basically re-injure it. And of course, as you get older, it's tougher to keep it steady. So I've decided, like I said, to take a break from TakeBackSpace. That's partially this year. I was just like, I need a break physically from doing it, because as fun as it is, it's like so much work. As anyone who has set up a telescope knows, especially this setup tonight, like the back porch setup on the staircase, is just such a complicated thing to like scope, and you have to like contort your body to be able to like set up the scope. So a little bit of behind the scenes. Love doing it, but good to take a break. And what else? Yeah, red light therapy is awesome. It's one of those things, you get this panel and it has these low-level red light radiation. It's almost like sitting in front of this very, 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 very lukewarm heater. It's like a very, very light heat wave and red light, and you sit there, and it's supposed to stimulate cell regeneration, cell growth, cell resetting. I would imagine that it sends out like these types of oscillations that resonate the same way a tuning fork would, or music would, or vibrations will entangle. So that's what I think that does. I feel like the tuning fork stuff, again, Eileen McCusick goes into that in great detail, but tuning forks in essence resonate at a certain frequency in the field. It's creating these echoes and ripples into the ether. We are echoing and rippling into the field. These waves cross and create these new resonant points. And that's how you can sense coherence and decoherence. That's what I think. So that's what I'm trying to learn. But at the same time, when you're thinking about it so obsessively and scientifically, it's actually hard to relax and fork yourself in a way that is pure, right? Because you're analyzing it. So, I am analyzing it constantly. Let's see. Let me read some comments because I'm just going off on a tangent here. So I said hi to Dank. Did I say hi to Dank? Hope you're doing great. Try acupuncture. I did acupuncture, and I gotta say, here's a little story. So I did acupuncture for about a year on the right arm, and well, they do it all over, but specifically for the right arm stuff. And they were doing, I actually had two pretty bad experiences, if I'm being honest. Like, it wasn't because of the place, it was because of, it was just like, it was such a feeling where, I can feel it right now when I think about it. It was actually in my right foot, an energy release point that actually, it snapped like electricity snapped. I mean, they were using low level, of course, the low level electricity, but it snapped in such a way that it made me not want to do it for a while, and then I stopped doing it. But it was interesting. To be fair, though, it was one of those things where I would see the improvement and then go back to work and lose the improvements. So, of course, there's that. Aqua Cure. What's that, Cyber Sully? Yep, I am taking magnesium. Yep. Selenium coupled with collagen. That's interesting. Definitely, selenium is so interesting because of the moon. And magnesium, I'm on. Ellie says, being perfect is overrated. Exactly, for somebody in perfect health, right? Ellie says, resting the body from repetitive movements is crucial. Take all the time you need to heal. Thank you. I will. I'm trying to. I mean, I finally had to, ultimately. It's like I want to do this, but I'm just so sore. Gnostic Chef, what's going on, Chef? Hello, hello. Good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, repetitive. Well, I have, so I clean and I cook. I do all the repetitive motions all all day, all night, and of course I stay up super duper late. And I do. I think the scoping, to be honest, like, it's one of those things where, just thinking about it. But I used to play guitar and lift speakers for years and years and years. We'd carry multiple guitars and giant amps and bass guitars and drums and move everything around. It was like for maybe 15 years I did that all the time. And I was working, I think, and then I did TakeBackSpace, for the last 7. Now it's like 8 years, and I think there were a few times where I really, I'm sure, screwed everything up by doing like it was probably one of a solar eclipse or something where I had to lay down on the ground. Anyway, now I feel like I'm whining about my health, but I'm all right. I'm all right. Chocolate triggers pain. I know, but I can't stop eating chocolate, Mary. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Chocolate's my thing. I mean, I've definitely cut down, but yeah, NGC vibrating nubs. Yeah, so I was talking about those dumbbell-shaped nubby vibrating devices. That's actually been amazing to just lay down on and really work out those knots. So that's the trajectory that I'm on. The tuning forks kind of get into your brain and your space, and just to say it out loud, this idea that brains are contained inside the head and that's it is just this crazy idea when we accept that atoms have a field and that Earth has a field and that everything has a field, but humans don't. The brain doesn't have a field. Brain doesn't have a field. Human body doesn't have a field. Everything is contained inside the body, inside the skull. And it just drives me. I see it so often online, just like esoteric viewing, philosophers, alternative science, and of course popular science. They're all in this idea. And they're right on the precipice of discovering something important. And they all really think that thoughts and memories and everything is contained within the skull. And it's just, to me, it just doesn't, like, the more I live in the idea that the brain and the human body creates our field, and our whole field is important, you just start moving so far away from this idea that everything is contained within the body. And it just, everything, when you hear those statements, it just sounds so ridiculous. Mig, insist try acupuncture. I don't know, were you hearing me? I did it for like a year, and I had like a really weird couple of experiences that made me not want to do it again. Like kind of electrical burning sensations. Not fun. So I hear you, but maybe maybe sometime in the future. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Okay. So yeah, we got an unbelievable view of Orion, to be honest, even with the little bit of blurriness from the atmospheric turbulence and just the cold air front. I know it's not even cold at all compared to the north, but it was chillier than usual in Florida tonight. Okay, a couple more songs, and then I'm probably gonna go rest and relax. It's not even the weekend yet, and I'll definitely be back for some more Moon. I want to maybe do tomorrow, but not sure. But stay tuned, and thanks everybody for hanging out tonight. I do appreciate it. Always great to ride with the spacelings and sing some tunes and play some songs. Here we go, some Soulfire. NGC, that's exactly what I was doing. Electrical acupuncture screwed up my foot. Never mind, I'll try it at some point again, I'm sure.
So glad I found your tree, drift like wood on the beach. We suffered longingly. Your world is coming apart at the seams. Then I found that policy that cut a real deal between you and me. Then you walk up slowly to me, come up from the sand, and you're carving the trees to play tricks with my head. I got to set the needed a part of you. All my life and my heart is still aching. Said I needed a part of you. Maybe we'll lose our lives someday, but I got the stars in my heart. No one can take that away. I got the stars in my heart. Set the feeling of Soulfire. 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 Set the feeling of Soulfire.
That's a few songs. That's a few tracks. Typically, I kind of end on this one, but I'll stay on for a little bit longer. M42 is looking really amazing tonight. Gosh, kind of love that turquoise with the purples. So yeah, these saying hi also to Morgan Ellis. What's going on? Welcome. And anybody I missed and all your lurkers, and everybody who checks it out tomorrow. So yeah, let's see. Talking about Carlos Castaneda, and I've been going through the audiobooks too, Australis, and going through like this past month it's been The Power of Silence, talking about the Nahual and Don Juan and all this stuff, all the different stories. To be fair, like I'm sure I could listen to it a dozen times and not remember every little bit of it, but I have finally committed to getting into it, because like I'd only really briefly skimmed it years ago, and I kind of got a gist of what it was, but I haven't really dug in. So yeah, Power of Silence, Castaneda is what I'm getting into right now. There is, of course, there's a bit of that traditional feel to it, where what they're talking about is alluding to everything we talk about today, but I have a feeling like, a bit like I was saying at the top of the show about how everybody thinks it kind of sucks right now, but in fact, it's the most incredible time that's ever existed as far as we know. And in the same way, I listen to some of these old writings and these old books, and I do get a sense of the antiquity of them, of the time where they really had they had a good inclination as to what things could and should be, but they also had limitations of the day in terms of really having the words for it. So things again are couched in a lot of poetic terminology and a lot of interesting anecdotal evidence. And today I feel like we have Castaneda, but we also have Sheldrake and McCusick and so on and so forth, and the cutting edge science. So today we are even luckier than the people who lived in that time. I know that, that's kind of the point. A great time to be alive. What a time to be alive. All right, rolling up. It is midnight, 12:01 here, 12:19, coming up at the end of this 2023. Not nostalgic. It's been an incredible year, and very challenging at times, but get through it every single year. So every year that I get through it, I have more and more faith. So this time around, I was ready. And I feel like next year is going to be very interesting in terms of technology, in terms of politics, in terms of science. I will say I've softened a little bit on this whole NASA thing, because, we used to complain about NASA not posting stuff, but I've been checking out the NASA channels, and yes, it's slow going, and yes, they don't allow comments on their channel, and yes, Apollo is still kind of like fuzzy for people, but I want to give it a shot in terms of like Artemis, in terms of the next stage of progress, just from the perspective of, this is what we've got right now. And if I constantly feel like, our entire space program is completely devoid of any type of ethics or morality or smart people, then it's not really a fun place to be. So over the years, like you probably have noticed, I've softened a bit about criticizing things like NASA and space programs and the secrecy behind them, because this is how they operate. And so I'm leaving the doors open for Artemis to happen, and for the next generation of space technology to be trickled down slowly to the populace. But we know that there are other things going on, of course. The other things being much higher level technology based on etheric plasma, being developed in small groups and not shown to the public, and might not come to the public for a lot of years. So yeah, Miggs always says it's better than NASA. It's well, in the one regard, like we get to talk about all the things here, play some music. But yeah, NASA's putting up their streaming channel now, and they're putting high definition graphics, and they have a moon program. So you got to change with the times, right? Like 7 years ago, NASA wasn't doing anything really, and we had a canceled space mission, and now there's at least some glimmer of hope. So not a complete supporter at this point, but I have definitely chilled out a little bit on it. Although, of course, it's always infuriating that we're only going to get the tiny tidbits of information that the public get, and yet these laboratories are working on significantly higher level technologies. So that's how it is. Let's see. Ellie Wynn says we get to see the whole planet live while we're at home on our phones in pajamas, right? It's crazy. Like, I try constantly to bring myself back to that perspective of like how incredible it really is, as opposed to how crappy it is. Hey, missed you, or Morgan too. Awesome. I missed all of y'all. Like I said, it's great to be with my spacelings, share our energies and vibrations. Yeah, 2 hours, right? Yeah, I think it's good. Keep everything, tight, compact, and yeah, I'll come back for some more in the next week or two. Excuse me. So have an excellent holiday, everybody. Stay warm, stay cool, and enjoy whatever type of holiday that you're celebrating, or even if it's just time off and you don't care about these holidays. For me, it's just another day. This is more important than anything, really. Talking about science, ideas, people, connections, and everything in between, above and beyond. Yeah. NGC says, I'm spending less time of rockets and shite and more about accepting and loving the universe. At some point, that's, it's giving in to what is. I feel like that's how I think about it. Just accepting what is. I have been going through my Alan Watts archive, like I said, and I highly, highly recommend it to people. I can't recommend it enough. If we were back 25 years ago, I'd just put a torrent link. But I think it's probably worth just donating to the foundation. It's $300 or something. I mean, it's not cheap, but for the amount of Alan Watts, like with no ads and just on your phone, having about 300, 400 different bits, and every day I listen to something new. And he actually has this talk where there's a cat interrupting him and the audience, and they're laughing and interacting with the cat. I've never heard it on YouTube. It's fascinating. So if you have money to splurge, or I think there's probably a smaller collection, or maybe you can go in on it with some friends and share it. But yeah, the Alan Watts entire archive is a very strong recommendation from me. He, above all people, I think, of all philosophers and all scientists, I think put it all together in the most concise way. From Zen philosophy to the science of it, to also AI and technology, and future visions, but also understanding it and also embodying it. And he lived it. He died when he wanted to. He lived the way he wanted to. Alan Watts is one of the few, I think, pure, true gurus, because he never made a thing about I'm above people. He's like, I'm a rascal. And all the other gurus from, I won't name who they are, but a lot of people on YouTube who follow these people, they never have the ability to say they're rascals. And Alan Watts was so far beyond it that he wanted to convince you that he had nothing to sell you. And that's what really made it important. So I feel like as I'm talking, Orion is just glowing and ebbing and vibrating. So Migs, have a great one. I'm going to wrap it up here too. It's been a pleasure, as always, everybody, on this space journey together. What song are we going to end it on? Something cool. Let me know while I find a song. Leave me some comments. Let me know how you're feeling, what you're going to do tomorrow, this week, what are you celebrating, what you doing, how you feeling, or if there are any other thoughts that I haven't touched upon. All right, so what's this playlist right here? Alright, this is one defunct. Maybe, and we'll let Orion drift off. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. I really appreciate y'all, as always. Oh, Willpowered, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Maybe I'll do it after this. This one's only 2 minutes long. I just wanted to vibe on it for a second. Pup, pup, pup. Okay, everybody. And yeah, let me see. Next few days, we'll be back at it. Leave me some questions, some nice comments. Share the video. Stay safe, stay wise. And I'll see you soon. Good night. Good night. Good night.
See, we're lost without you. Beaten from the heart, I know, no lie. I've been thinking about you all night. Why? No, I've been waiting for your white light, no, I've been thinking that you should be mine. So call me up, and let's get down, 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 down. So call me up, and let's get down, 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 down. Oh, you send me messages across the cosmic network, and you send me pictures from across the astral plane, and you send me cryptic kisses across the matching network. So call me up, and let's get down, 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 down. So call me up, and let's get down, 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 down. From the Chunes body, so full of loss, so full of Chunes body, so full of loss, so full of loss. Je t'attends, l'amour incertain, ainsi l'amour que la même semaine, achetant la éternelle, avec on ensemble. Je suis là même tout en avant, l'année chaque jour. Je t'attends, l'amour avec les mecs sans aggraver. Et c'est Lunar magnétique, c'est l'amour magnétique, c'est mon amour magnifique. Cool running, no warning. you.